What's up, Melanated family? This is your brother Harrison from Melanated Fathers TV, bringing you the latest episode of History Matters, where we discuss the people, places, and situations from our past to get a clear understanding of how we are to move forward. So please do me a favor, family, hit that like button, hit the share button. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to Melanated Fathers TV so you can stay in the loop when we release new content. So let's get everything going, man. What we're going to talk about today is a brother by the name of Pedro Alonzo Nino. His brothers as well, but primarily him. So let's get into it. Now, in 1492, many of us are aware that, Christopher Columbus was given credit for discovering America. By now, we all know that that's not true. Christopher Columbus was an Italian explorer who was commissioned by Spain, basically, to seek out new land, right? And by now, we are aware that, Native American and other indigenous people were already on this landmass when he got here. So his quote unquote discovery was nothing more than the start of European domination in the Western Hemisphere. And Columbus himself participated in mass genocide, rape, and a host of other atrocities against African and Native American people. Now, another fun fact for all my history buffs out there, an African impure who ruled Mali in the 14th century discovered America maybe 200 years before Christopher Columbus even, set foot on this land. And this is according to African traditions. Now, this African brother's name was Mansa Abu Bakari II, and he was considered the Voyager King. And he once ruled Mali, and at that time it was the largest empire on earth, covering nearly all of West Africa. Also, many of us are aware of the African Mali king and emperor Mansa Musa, who was actually the brother of Mansa Abu Bakari, right? So that's a good fun fact for everybody out there. But actually, like I said, we're going to talk about Pedro Alonzo Nino, and many people aren't aware that this black man was actually in charge of the navigation when Christopher Columbus came to America. He was involved in the first voyage as well as the third voyage as well. It was him, Pedro Alonzo Nino, and he had a brother named Francisco and Juan. Both of them participated in these voyages and pretty much led Christopher Columbus to where he needed to go, right? So he wasn't a skilled voyager or explorer at all, but these brothers had experience of sailing around the Atlantic Ocean, so they were there to help him out. Now, Pedro Alonzo Nino was called El Negro by the natives based on his dark skin because he was mixed with Spanish and African heritage. Him on his own, after the voyages with Christopher Columbus, he would be commissioned by Spain to go on his own voyages as well, basically looking for unmarked territory, taking gold and pearls or whatever he can come up with. And the funny thing about it is, so, now we all know that there were black men on the ship with Christopher Columbus. But the funny thing about it is, it brings a question in my mind just as far as, did he know what Christopher Columbus was up to? Because this speaks to even what happens today, where black people are commissioned to help Caucasians or Europeans do things that negatively affect their people. Because if you think about it, if he's on this ship with Christopher Columbus and Christopher Columbus is raping, pillaging, pretty much stealing land, if he's aware of it, then he negatively affected his people. So I want you guys to be aware that he was a black man and he was an experienced voyager, and we should salute him for that part. But if he was aware of Christopher Columbus' deeds, then, we have to consider him like a threat to our people as well. And I would think if we were to put that in today's term, would Pedro Alonzo Nino be considered a coon by today's standards? Right? Because we see black men on TV or black men in high places who work for corporations or work for European-ran companies, and they seem to do the bidding for these European companies. So it seems as if this type of dealing goes back centuries, right? So it's important that we look at how black people from history have affected where we are now, even good or bad, right? Because sometimes Pedro Alonzo Nino gets a lot of credit for being the black man on that ship. Like I said, he should, but if he knowingly was aware of Christopher Columbus's bad deeds, then should he be partially to blame for that as well, right? Let's think about that. So thank you for listening to another episode of History Matters. This is your boy Harrison from Melanated Fathers TV. Like I said, please hit that like button, hit the share button so you can be alerted when more content like this drops. I'm out.